Hello and welcome everyone. I hope you're all doing well. This is your guy Ty, Uncommon Flex, and right now I am showing you Hulk Butt. But this is just something to entertain the eyes while I give you the latest updates. So right now, because I just had the surgery, my plan was to do the Black Panther bust, but because I still need to do some really intricate detail painting on that, right now I don't have the hand-eye coordination. I just can't do that fine motor skill movement right now. So what I've decided is to, instead of doing that, we're gonna do the Hulk. And I mean, when we're doing the Hulk, I'm not talking about this Lou Ferrigno one right here. I'm talking about MCU Hulk, quarter scale. He is huge. Okay, that's what she said. But anyway, we're gonna do that. That's gonna be starting with part 3, but part 2, you're gonna see the Black Panther with T'Challa and the Black Panther mask. The process is gonna be the same as far as printing and everything. So what you see here is gonna apply to that Hulk sculpture. I have done some pieces already, so we'll just pick it up from there. Hope you enjoy the video and see you for part 3. Oh, don't forget, like and subscribe if you like it. Enjoy.
Okay, so let's take a look at what we have here. Over here is the first resin 3D printer I got. It's an Elegoo Saturn S, and I've definitely learned a lot by having this guy. I've also had a lot of trouble with this guy, but now I have moved on to the Anycubic Photon Model X6K, which is a mouthful, but this thing so far has been great. If there's been any issues with the printing, they have been my fault. So bravo Anycubic. And the only thing bad about it I have to say is, sometimes it's not big enough to handle the full print of the model, so I have to chop it up. This is the Anycubic wash and cure station, which I did have one for the Elegoo, which is right over here. You can see there's a massive difference in size there. So this one is very nice because it's all in one unit. You have your alcohol that's in here that you bathe the models in after they are done, and then after that you can take that tank out and then you can cure it with a UV light right inside the same machine, which is very, very nice. So that is what I'll be using. Now let's get to what it looks like when we add some resin. So this is the resin I will be using today. It is Anycubic brand. You don't necessarily have to use the same brand as the brand that made your printer, but it can't really hurt, right? So it's just the basic. It's not the ABS like or a really tough, tenacious brand of resin that you can get. I've had good success with this one. This one is skin colored. Apparently peach is skin colored, but it's fine. But that's what we'll be using today. You'll see what I mean about peach when I pour it in there. Okay, we are ready to pour some resin and get this started. All right, look at that. Look at that. There is a max fill line on the resin tank. We'll go into that in a minute here. Let's see. I probably did this backwards. Should have told you about the tank before I poured the stuff in there. But you can see it's very, liquidy. Okay, so this is the tank that holds your resin. So this guy basically holds that resin. This is the build plate right here. This is what your model actually sticks to. Like if you saw in before where I had the models where I was doing it in the slicer, it's like upside down. These things print upside down, so they stick here and they just keep going back and forth inside the resin. So you'll see that momentarily, but there is a fill line back here. You want to be very careful with resin. You want to wear gloves, so don't do what I just did, but I know I wasn't going to touch anything. I've had a little experience. So this machine does not have wireless capabilities as far as like being able to transfer your file, your model to it wirelessly. You actually have to use USB, and so the USB port is right here. They supply you with a USB a thumb drive, but I found that there were some issues with that. That beep was the photon coming on. There we go. And so I actually got another one, which was quite interesting too, because for some reason it's limited to an 8 gig stick. Don't like that, but hey, that's the way it is. Gonna bring it on over, bless you, Pancake, to the printer. Boom. There we go. Now let's take a look at what we have here. Now on here, we're just gonna look for the file. We're gonna go to print, and we're gonna look for the file that I just saved. So that'll be somewhere here. Give me a minute. There's a lot of files on here. Okay, there we go. The cool thing is it shows you an image of the file. Let's see if I can make this a little clearer. Let's see if I can do that for you. No. Okay, there we go. We can see it now. So that is definitely the file I want. So let's hit the play button here. My bad. Let's hit the play button here. And let's watch how it happens. Now, I am going to put the cover on this because resin does have a smell to it. Thankfully, my lovely lady Liz bought me some Anycubic charcoal filters, but I always like seeing this part. So it's coming down, it's going in there, it's going in there, it's going for a dip, it's going for a dip. Let's see. Oh yeah, oh yeah. You see that? Oh yeah. Okay. So it's gonna keep doing this for quite some time. Through the magic of recording, we'll come back when it's done. Okay. So through the magic of editing, here we are. As you can see, the printer hanging upside down from the build plate. It is done, as you can see there. Okay, now let's get it off the build plate and take a closer look. In case you're wondering how you get it off the build plate, basically you have to take this guy here, loosen it, and then the build plate comes off this way. And here we have Chadwick, we have T'Challa's head sculpt, and we have the Black Panther head sculpt. So like I said before, we do have to use gloves because resin can cause irritations to the skin, and in order to remove it from this build plate here, we're gonna need gloves to pop it off and then give it a little bath. All right. Okay, here is a slightly better look at the models before they go into the bath. You can see the supports are still on there, the supports we applied in the slicer program. And now we're going to put them in here so they can get a nice bath in some isopropyl alcohol. That will clean them. We'll leave them in there for like 10 minutes because they're a little big. Let's see if we can. Oh, well, afterwards you'll see where the holes are, because I know they look solid and they feel really good, but they are actually hollowed out like we did in the slicer. So let's put them in. Oop. There we go. T'Challa. and the Black Panther. Get in there. Come on. Okay, there we go. Get in there. There you go. Let's see the bubbles. Let's see the bubbles. Okay, that's all we're gonna get. All right. So, what this machine does is we will set a timer, and like 10 minutes here. And what it's going to do is agitate. It goes back and forth to clean the models for us. So, see you in a few. Okay, pardon the noise in the background. That is the Anycubic printing out another piece. But I wanted to show you here. Now that we finished the washing in the isopropyl alcohol, now it comes time to cure it, which in this case, because this resin, pardon me, will harden and cure under UV light. So this particular machine not only washes in the alcohol, but all these dots that you see here are UV lights, and they will shine and they will cure these bottles. So I'm going to put the hood back on because that protects us from UV light and protects the figures from any unwanted UV. Okay, so we've got the hood back on. I've set it for about 10 minutes. And let's go to cure. There you see the lights. And it's going to spin it around. It also has a reflective bottom underneath these guys that helps the UV reflect and get underneath the models as well. Once this is done, we'll be actually able to finally touch these with our hands.